All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our GMC tweet of the night. Landon Roberts, 14.4% run stop percentage this season, and that is first in the NFL. He's been a difference maker in the run game for the Steelers. It's too bad they lost their other two middle inside linebackers there, Chris. But I think they're doing a little bit better this time around without having guys that mixing in and out. And plus, they're going to get Minkah Fitzpatrick back, you think, this week?
I will take a small victory lap. Roberts has been really good. He's been a thumper. I think he's a guy people like to watch in this town because when he hits something, it usually stops moving forward and goes down like a sack of bricks, which is obviously a popular way to play that position. But I'm going to take a small victory lap, little vindication. All offseason, I said one of the things I liked was that the new regime was done throwing money at off-ball linebacker, which I think is a position that's becoming a little bit devalued or a lot devalued the way running back did on offense. They didn't really make what you would call a major long-term huge money commitment, right? Like Holcomb they signed for a nice deal, okay, whatever. Yeah. But they ultimately tried to fill it with like decent, solid players, and I think they've reaped the benefits. They haven't hamstrung themselves financially, and guys like Roberts have performed. So I will take a victory lap. I think that is a step in the right strategic direction for the Steelers.
Better version of Bob Spillane, that's for sure. Let's go out to Ron and Baldwin. How you doing, Ron?
How you doing, Rich?
Hey, thanks for calling.
Hey, a couple quick points here. Calvin Austin III, he was supposed to be a deep threat, you know, someone that would spread out the defense. What's going on with him at all?
You know, they got I don't want to say they have too many weapons, but I think he's stuck behind all these guys, right? I mean, first of all, they haven't thrown the ball a ton up until last week. And Kenny Pickett, I think he's been too hesitant to make a mistake. So, I mean, his favorite targets, you got George Pickens, who's crying. Deontay Johnson wants the ball. Now Pat Freiermuth is back. You also got to give the ball to Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. So where does that leave someone like Calvin Austin?
Well, I think like in the Raiders game, he catches that beautiful deep seam route touchdown from Pickett, one of Pickett's better throws of the entire season, really. But they do need to find a way to get his speed more involved in their offense. You named all those guys, and yeah, they want to play a certain way, but they only seem typically comfortable taking deep shots down the sideline. And hey, Kenny dropped 2 in the bucket last week. He beat the Ravens with 1, but it would be a shame if they don't find a way to utilize Austin more regularly. Heck, just try to get him the ball, in space closer to the line of scrimmage. They love to dump off some of these passes, but usually it's to a guy whose back is turned to upfield. Get Calvin Austin the ball facing the right direction on the run and see if he can make something happen. Failing that, they do need to find a way to involve him more at other parts of the field in the passing game because the speed is too valuable to just let kind of fester away.
Especially in the red zone. I know it's a shortened field there, but they somehow need to turn those 3 points into 7 points and, maybe try to get him the ball. I wouldn't mind seeing him run some of those seam routes with that up the middle like Pat Freiermuth caught last week too. All right, let's go out to Dave in the north side. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, when's the last time the Steelers scored 30 points? They hadn't scored 30 points for, almost 2 years now?
No, they haven't had 400. They haven't had 400 yards. I think it was that playoff game in January of 2021, which would have been the 2020 season. They got
30 against the Chargers and the Vikings, but they lost. Or no, did they get 29 against the Vikings? I don't even remember. But they got 30 against the Chargers, and they lost the game.
Yeah. That was a couple years ago. Last year, what was their highest point total last year? I can't remember. But
they went and got 29 against the Bears, I think, in that game where Fields – wasn't that last year, Fields' game? Fields came here and almost rallied the Bears. I think they got 29 last year. Point stands, putrid offense has to score more points.
No question about it. I mean, are you reading anything?
Barrier.
Are you reading anything into just the 16 points with these two guys? I know they had opportunities, but these drives keep stalling in that red zone.
I mean, I've been as harsh a critic of Kenny Pickett as anybody, but I did think the offense overall looked a lot more fluid in that game. And let's face facts. Could he have been like a fraction of a second earlier with the ball to Johnson? Yes. Should Johnson catch that ball, get 3 feet down, whatever and get a touchdown 100 times out of 100? Yes, and it would have been a touchdown, I think, had they challenged it. So that's 7 points off the board right there. And then you can quibble with some of the other decisions they made in the red zone. But I think it's there for them. And if they trusted Kenny Pickett last week, that was like a big factor. They trusted him to actually make some throws and take some more dangerous, risky shots. Then they need to start trusting him to do that in the red zone and not play for 3. But I think, Richie, really quick here, the problem with saying that is, look who they're going up against. Kyler's pretty good. They can put points on the board, but they're not good as a team. The Patriots absolutely stink. Even if they have Bailey Zappi in that game, that's probably 1st to 10 wins. The Bengals with Browning are not a threat. The Colts, you might need to score points, but
maybe no
if they
Taylor.
Want to continue to be conservative. Well, yeah, the Colts have Zach Moss. It'll probably be no Taylor or a hobbled Taylor. So I guess my point is, if they want to continue to err on the side of caution in the red zone and guarantee 3 at the expense of maybe getting 7, they'll probably have excuses for the next month on the schedule to continue doing so.
All right, let's go out to Kirk and Manor. How you doing, Kirk?
Pretty good, Rich and Chris. Happy holidays to you guys.
You too.
And 16 points in a game against a bad Bengal defense is not anything to have a parade about. And
you know,
keep in mind, though, Matt Canada never had a losing season. Thanks, guys.
Okay, good point. You know, I thought of that too. 400 yards. Teams all year have been putting a ton of yards up on the Bengals defense and points. So, I mean, I want to see them do that for the next couple weeks, like you talked about. And who knows about, you brought up the schedule. We're looking at the schedule. That Baltimore game, Baltimore likes to play things close too, and they like to play, they make mistakes there at the end and lose games just like they did here. That potentially could be a Steelers win late in the season. I think they're guaranteed 3 wins, which puts them at 10 wins, and I think that gets them in the postseason. I would imagine they would win one of those other 3 games.
I mean, I think that they they should be guaranteed 11 wins. I don't see a good reason to argue against, and I'm a skeptic about them in many ways, but they should win their next 4 games. They really should.
No, I agree.
What is it?
Just don't know if they will.
They should go into the Seattle game at 11-4. And then, honestly, if that team, I think, is good enough, certainly, to beat them, but Seattle looks like they're taking on a little bit of water, that's a winnable game, depending on how your quarterback plays. I think there is a very real chance, and it feels preposterous to be saying this, that Baltimore game in Week 18 could be for the division, given what the Ravens' immediate schedule ahead looks like.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple of minutes.